All right, welcome to MSc 2044, Fundamentals of Materials Engineering. I'm going to try and answer a bunch of your questions about how class is going to work in this asynchronous and synchronous online environment. So our class has both the synchronous and asynchronous components. So the main part of the class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, meaning that's when I'm going to try and make sure I post your lectures. That part of the class is asynchronous, and the Friday lecture from 1:25 to 2:15 is actually a synchronous. So make sure you get that on your schedules. That's going to be the communications program, which is integrated throughout this entire course. So we'll have a workshop on Friday, and we'll talk more about the communications program and the research paper that you all are going to write. So let's first just take a look at the Canvas site so we can kind of see what's going on there, because we do have several different, sites and software that you all will be interacting with through this course. So the main part of the site you can see here in Canvas. We'll have the policy guide, just make sure you look through that, the homework submission guide, and also this video lectures. This is a new link, so if you have already looked at the Canvas site, you may not have noticed this one. But what I'm going to be doing is placing, this is one of your pages in your page view. I'm going to continue to update. Let's see if this opens for us. All right, while that's working, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the video lectures, and I'm going to keep on this page a kind of a running table of contents for you. So your video lectures will just get embedded directly into the page views in Canvas, so you can see them relatively easily. Not sure what it's doing right now. There is a media tool in Canvas, and if you were to look there, you'd see there's a bunch of video files. Unfortunately, that tool is not very good at organizing things, so when I tried to pull a lot of that over, it got completely disorganized. So just ignore that. I'm going to try and just keep up to date this particular page's table of contents. Okay, so here it is. Finally, it's come up for me. You can see there's not a lot there right now. There's just this chapter 1 and 2 playlist. And then after I finish this video, I'm going to put that on here as an introduction to the class. You'll see that. But if we were to go to this chapter 1 and 2 playlist, this will just pull up another page file that's in your system. And then on here, what we're going to see is the chapter 1 lecture and the chapter 2 lecture. Here they come. So there's our chapter 2, and you can always make this full screen if you like. Okay. And then the chapter 1 hopefully eventually come up here. Okay, so there it is. There's chapter 1. And so you've got these two. That'll get you started for this week. And then I'll continue to add these as we move on. I think this will be a better way to organize things. You can always go to the view all pages if you want to see what's kind of going on behind the scenes. And I know Canvas has been behaving really slow today. I think that's part of the problem here. Hopefully that'll get better as the semester gets going. Okay, so this brings up all of the pages that we've got going on. You can see here this is the chapter 1 and 2 playlist. Then I'll continue to add those. But you don't have to worry about it. It's all here in the video lectures file folder. That's basically the big table of contents that I was just showing you previously. So there it is. Okay, so that's where the video lectures will show up. Let's see. Let's take a look at the at some of the announcements, because I'm getting a lot of different kinds of questions that lead me to believe that y'all aren't quite reading all of the announcements, and I know that they're long and you're probably skimming through them, but a lot of your questions are actually answered in there, although maybe I've written it in a confusing way. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at those announcements for you. Okay, so we got 3 announcements so far in the class. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look quickly. Well, let's say the first one I sent pretty early on before the semester actually started. This one was just giving you some information on the textbook and the requirement for using the perusal.com site. So hopefully many of you, I know at least, well, half, so actually not too many of you, have already signed up for the perusal. You do need to get the e-text that's in perusal. That's where you're going to be annotating and commenting and interacting with me and with the fellow students through the perusal site. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. And that is graded. So I know that's always the motivation that gets you working on some of these things. So we'll go over the grade breakdown in just a second. All right, so let's take a look at the assignments clarification here. Okay, so here it is. Looking at the assignments. So again, all of your assignment due dates will be in one place in Canvas. So even though you have assignments in different places, the Canvas will actually show you the due dates for all of them and which assignments are due. And so I'll take a look at that also with you in just a second. But for this chapter 1 and 2, for example, there are several components to your homework that you again will all find under assignments. You can also find it under syllabus, so I'll show you that as well. And you can find it under calendar. Okay. So right now there's, for your first assignment, you're going to have a Canvas discussion and a Canvas poll. These are very quick and this should not take you a lot of time at all. It's just kind of for fun and talking about whether you prefer glass cans or plastic bottles for drinking soda. So this is technically done through a quiz. Don't worry, this is not a big deal. Just asking you for your preference. You can't get it wrong. All right, the Canvas discussion is where you can talk about why you made your preference, and this will link you automatically to the poll. Okay, so that's here under discussions. There are also Callister, your textbook. There are problems that will be due in there each week, maybe sometimes more than one homework each week, depending on how many chapters we go through. And in the perusal software, I mark all of your homework at the end of those chapters. Actually, I guess in the e-text it's at the beginning of the chapters, but I will highlight all of the ones you need to do, and I will hashtag them with homework so that in perusal you can easily see where they are. Okay. Now those homework problems are workout problems, and once you work those problems out, you can turn those into a PDF file and you will upload them in Canvas. Okay, so Canvas is actually where that goes. Everything goes into Canvas except for your reading assignments. So the reading assignments are listed in perusal. I'll have a spot here in Canvas that just lists them so that you have a due date and a reminder that you have reading. But you don't need to turn anything in Canvas. Okay, so perusal will grade your reading assignments. And your reading assignments consist of reading through the text and highlighting, annotating, answering and interacting with other students, and I'm going to go through a little bit of that. And perusal is going to grade you automatically. So it's got a little bit of some artificial intelligence going on a little bit there, and I'll talk again about that in just a second. The other place problems that we may have, and we do in this first set, is you're going to have what's called CES EduPack problems. So CES EduPack is software for material selection that you'll use in other courses throughout our curricula. It allows you to look up all sorts of material properties. So I will have supplemental problems that will allow you to use that software. So make sure you go to the student software. I believe that's online now. and you can just download the CES EduPack. So there is a cost for that. I believe it's about 25 bucks. Okay. All right, so I know that's a lot of different places, and that's why if you go to the assignments link, let me just click over there right now. Okay, so here we are in the assignments link. You're seeing my view, so there's a lot more on here than what you'll see. Don't worry about all the gray stuff. None of that will show up. It's only the green here that's going to show up in your view, and that's all you have to worry about. So perusal, okay, there'll always be a reminder here. Your chapter 1 and 2 reading that's due. It's due August 28th. That's Friday. Okay, perusal. This reading assignments are going to count as 10% of your grade. Okay, that's listed here for you. And as periodically as we move through the course, and certainly by the end, I will take the grades from perusal and then I will substitute them directly in here so they end up showing up in your grade book. All right, but you'll be able to see your perusal grades after the assignments are done, and you get graded for that. All right, the homework. So this could be a variety of things. This is in this first part, this is the beverage container and the poll. These aren't going to count for much. It's just participation. It's your Callister workout problems and your CES EduPack software problems. So that's all that's going on right now. And you can see again the due dates, August 25th, that's today, by midnight, so do those. And then August 31st, which is Monday, for your other 2 sets of problems. But they're all listed here. So even if your homework is up in perusal, it's going to show up here as a due date. All right, so for your Callister problems and your CES EduPack problems, you would just click on these links here, and it'll give you the ability to upload your PDF file once you've got that finished. The CES EduPack problems, a lot of times it's just going to ask you to look up a record, right now anyway, and find out a certain property. So all you have to do is do that in the software, then just take a small screen clip of the spot in your software that shows the value that we were looking for, and just paste that into maybe PDF Annotator or Word, and then save that as a PDF file. But you just want to take a screenshot of the results. You don't have to document every step you went through for the EduPack problems here. Okay, but both of these will get turned in. All right, so don't worry about all the rest of the stuff. We've got a lot to look forward to here. So this, this may get a little bit confusing, perhaps to sort through. So if you do go to the syllabus and you scroll down, apparently it gets messed up there. If you scroll down to the bottom, then this is just going to be a summary list of everything that's due. Okay, so everything that right now is there. All right, so some of these actually won't show up in your view because these are not actually, I should go into the student view. Let me show you from the student view because this is a bit confusing. Okay, let's try that again. Student view. There we go, much better. So right now when you go to your student view, you're going to see the discussion and the poll, your reading assignment, and your Callister and CES problems. Okay, so they're just listed here in date order. So you can't go wrong taking a look at the summary of what's coming up. Okay, if you take a look at the, let's see, the CES EduPack problems, if we were to take a look at that, you'll see it'll walk you through exactly what you need to do with that software. And I'm going to put up a short video for Thursday that'll walk you through CES. We'll take a look at that program, so you can just wait. Don't worry about this homework until after we do that. All right, let's see, what else do we got? All right, so let's go, let's take a look at calendars. So that's the additional place. So your courses, this should be for all of your Canvas courses, should be here, and you can color code them as you like. But again, you'll see now on a calendar the due dates of your different assignments. And you can click on these directly if you want. So that's another place to look to help organize you a little bit. All right, so I think that is all of the Canvas stuff. So let us jump over to Perusal. All right, so in Perusal, I'll come over here to the course home. Assignments link up here. This is where your assignments are going to be. These are your reading assignments. So right now we just have this chapter 1 and 2 reading assignment. Okay, and what you're going to do, if you open that assignment, and you'll see I've already commented some things in here. I'll wait for that to load just a second. All right, so here's the textbook and your reading, and I usually go through a lot of these chapters beforehand and as you're reading them, and I will comment on your comments. This is a great place to put questions as you're reading through. If you're having trouble with anything, this is the great place to put your questions. If you start your homeworks, this is a good reason not to start them at the last minute. But if you start your homeworks, actually you don't have any in chapter 1. Let me go to chapter 2 here. All right, here's chapter 2. And if you start looking through these, you will find, here we go, that your homeworks are highlighted. Okay, so I highlight these, and this is just a comment. Many times it'll just be the problem number, and I'll hashtag it homework so you don't miss it. This one has a comment, make sure you show your work for credit here. There's another one like this one. It's going to tell you, make sure your plot is computer generated. No hand plots. I'm not going to accept any hand plots. You get no credit. Okay, so I will also put up a short video on using Excel to make plots of functions, so that'll help you out with this problem. All right. So that's where your homeworks will be, but this is a great place if you're running into trouble. Let's say you are trying to plot this and you're having some kind of an issue with Excel. This is the place to go ahead and highlight where you're having your problem and enter your question. Okay, and then other students can help. Feel free to help. I would rather you be the ones to help each other. Hopefully I'll only come in to help if either A, no one is, or B, the discussion gets off track and you're all confusing each other more. But generally you answer questions many times better than I do. So please help each other, and helping each other goes right into your grading. Goes right into the perusal grade. Okay, it keeps track of all sorts of things, and some of those things are responding to other students' questions. So use this again to interact with each other and interacting with me. Okay. If you click on this one here, this will show you all of the comments that are currently here, called conversations. You can use this to just show your own comments, and you can look at the other options here, but I'll usually leave it on all comments. You can see the homeworks that are kind of hashtagged so far. Okay. And then as we move out of this section into the next section down here, this will start to move into your text. That's summary pages. Take a look at those. Very useful. Resources. All right. Finally, I think we're getting to the text part. most likely, since it's taken a second. There we go. So when you get into the text part, then you'll find conversations from myself and from other students. So, and many times I'll put in here, like in chapter 1, I'll say, just go ahead and skim. Or as we go on, I'll say, skip this particular section. You don't need to worry about this. So I will comment throughout that way. And I might make some clarifying comments. As you can look through, you'll see on the bond energy stuff, I put those in there to try and clarify some typical problems that come up. All right. So again, make sure that you are commenting on each other's and commenting on the text. If you like to read hard copies, you can get some hard copies. You can get an old edition, pretty cheap. Feel free to do that. What you're going to want to do, though, is use this perusal as your way of interacting with the class. And this is where you're going to get graded. So you can put in questions that you have when you're doing your own reading. You could highlight and make a comment about things that you think are important. Or you can read through other students' comments and comment to those. You can upvote. You can ask me questions. So all sorts of ways of interacting with the text that'll all go into your grade. All right, the hashtags over here on the bottom left. So again, here is the easiest way to get your homework assignments. Instead of scrolling through, just hit hashtag homework. And as I keep going through all your chapters, it'll all show up here. But there's your homeworks for chapter 2. All right, you can also look under hashtag instructor. Everything that I type into perusal, I will hashtag with instructor. So that's one place you can see that. And if it's particularly a clarifying question, I might hashtag it with a clarification. So those are just sometimes helpful hints for you. And if it's a section that you can just skim, I'll put a hashtag skim on it. Okay, so you can take a look at those. So use those hashtags, and you can use the hashtags in your own comments. So feel free to hashtag if you want. You can, I guess, use the @ and direct things to one of your fellow students, and you can use it to direct stuff to me that you want to make sure that I see once we start getting a lot of comments going on here. All right, so that's your assignments. There'll also be a library. Right now it just has your course text in it, but I will put in here the PDF versions of the slides that go along with your lecture, video lectures. So feel free to comment on the slides if you have questions there, and I or other students can also address those there as well. All right, so that is perusal. Again, it's to try and keep up the interaction between you and me on this online environment, and so please take advantage of it. And I look forward to seeing all of your comments and commenting to you all. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll jump back over to Canvas, and just want to point out the instructor policy guide so you can see what my grading scale looks like and the weighting. We've got homework at 10, perusal at 10, 45 for your exams. There's 3 of those. You have a research paper due, and we'll talk about on Friday. And you have a final exam. So this is the weighting, and hopefully that adds to 100. Read through the honor system stuff, all the standard sorts of things related to the honor system. So you go ahead and do that. Since this is completely online course, we don't have to worry about the COVID and social distancing and mask wearing. So I won't talk about all of that in these interesting times. All right, so that's the instructor's policy guide. Okay, if we jump over to the announcements again, let's see, assignment clarification. I just wanted to point out the many of the things I was telling you about perusal. is written at the bottom there. And so these are all the sorts of things that are graded in perusal for your grades. Okay, so starting reading early and looking through the textbook throughout the week or whenever this assignment is due, rather than waiting to the last minute, is actually taken into your account into your grade. So if you're trying to cram all your reading and your comments in on the last day, the hour before it's due, it will penalize you. Okay, so again, the idea is to interact, and you can't interact with each other if you're doing it at the last minute. Okay, and so we need to spread out your reading and your commenting and working on the class daily, and that will help with your grade. So break your reading into chunks, and comment with your fellow classmates. Answering questions from others counts. You asking questions that elicit comments or responses from other students help also your grade as well as theirs for answering. Upvoting, there's some small amount for upvoting, so don't go crazy upvoting everything, just trying to pick up your grade, but do upvote things that are important. All right. If you start to feel like you're not finding things to comment on because it seems like everyone has commented, then you might not be reading early enough. So again, get in there and get your reading done. All right, well, I think that is everything, I hope. I'm sure I missed some stuff, so feel free to email me or to post questions where appropriate in perusal, and I can try and help you. I think 26 minutes, this video is a little bit longer. I will generally try and keep all of the videos, hopefully it's sort of the 10 to maybe 15 at the most minutes. And so in the chapters, I will try and make the videos on topical. So there might be 3 or 4 videos in a chapter, but I'll make them specific to specific topics in that chapter that typically students have a difficult time with. Okay, well, again, I look forward to interacting with you all. I know I can't do it face-to-face. We could have some Zoom meetings if you want for office hours or something like that. We can set those up one-on-one. I can do that as a class, so we can see how things go. Or we can just interact through the perusal. I really do enjoy reading your comments and interacting with you that way. So, all right, well, enjoy the semester. Stay safe and get to work.